Funds.si presents itself as an investment platform offering access to financial markets and portfolio solutions. The English version of the website attempts to look institutional and trustworthy, using neutral colors, structured menus, and formal financial language. At first glance, it may resemble a boutique European investment firm. However, once you move beyond surface presentation and begin checking verifiable facts, the structure becomes much less convincing. Funds.si appears to position itself as an investment or brokerage service, potentially offering portfolio management, trading access, or structured financial products. The website uses language typical of professional asset managers: long-term strategy, capital growth, risk management, and diversified exposure. What it does not clearly provide is independently verifiable regulatory confirmation that would allow it to legally provide such services across jurisdictions. Brief summary. The platform promises structured investment access and professional financial management. It attempts to look established and European in tone. However, checks through official public registers do not confirm a clearly identifiable license attached to the domain funds.si. There is no easily verifiable regulatory authority publicly tied to the website in major financial databases. Without confirmed supervision, investor protection mechanisms remain uncertain. Based on publicly verifiable data, this is a structurally elevated risk platform. General information overview. Project name, funds.si. Website, https funds.si.in. Project type, investment platform, potentially offering brokerage or managed services. Regulation, not confirmed through major international regulators. License, not publicly verifiable in top-tier registers. Minimum deposit, not clearly disclosed in transparent regulatory context. Leverage, not clearly specified, though if trading instruments are offered, leverage may apply. Domain registration, publicly accessible domain data indicates active registration under a.si country code domain. Registrar and DNS infrastructure, standard registrar services, technical infrastructure consistent with privately managed domains. License and regulation verification is the most important step when evaluating any broker or investment platform. Legitimate financial firms operating in the European Union, the United Kingdom, Australia, or the United States must appear in official regulatory databases. A review of these official registers does not confirm a clearly identifiable licensed entity directly connected to the funds.si domain. The legally accurate formulation is simple. Verification through official registers does not confirm the presence of a license. That does not automatically prove fraud, but it does mean that there is no independently confirmed regulatory oversight tied to the website in major financial jurisdictions. If funds.si is offering brokerage or portfolio management services, regulation is not optional. A regulated broker must disclose a legal entity name, license number, governing authority, and jurisdiction. It must comply with capital requirements, segregate client funds, and participate in compensation schemes where applicable. In the absence of publicly verifiable regulatory data, those safeguards cannot be assumed. Now consider the service model. Investment platforms that offer portfolio management or trading access without transparent regulatory backing create structural asymmetry. The platform controls order execution, pricing transparency, and custody arrangements. If leveraged products or contracts for difference are involved, risk increases significantly. CFDs are complex instruments that carry high risk of rapid loss due to leverage. In regulated environments, leverage is capped and risk warnings are mandatory. If a platform offers access to such products without referencing a supervising authority, the client absorbs full exposure without guaranteed protection. Another important factor is conflict of interest. If the platform internally matches, orders, or acts as counterparty to client positions, the broker's profit can depend on client losses. This is not inherently illegal in regulated markets, but it must be disclosed and supervised. Without a regulator, there is no independent body verifying how execution occurs or whether pricing reflects real market liquidity. WAS and technical analysis add context. The funds.si domain operates under a country code top-level domain associated with Slovenia. While this may suggest European positioning, a country code alone does not confirm licensing. Domain ownership details and registration data do not, by themselves, prove legitimacy. Established investment firms typically publish clear corporate registration numbers and link their domain to a registered legal entity visible in commercial and financial registries. If such cross-verification is not easily possible, transparency is reduced. Legal transparency is critical. A legitimate broker or investment company must clearly disclose its legal entity, registered address, supervisory authority, and dispute resolution mechanisms. It must provide a binding client agreement governed by identifiable law. In the case of funds.si, there is no clearly verifiable top-tier regulatory authority publicly connected to the domain through major international databases. There is no confirmed evidence of participation in an investor compensation scheme. There is no independently verifiable license number easily traceable in official financial registers. This absence creates structural uncertainty. If withdrawal issues occur, or if there are disputes over account balances or execution, clients would need a recognized regulator to escalate complaints. Without confirmed oversight, that channel may not exist. Common structural risk indicators observed include absence of confirmed license in major official registers, absence of clearly verifiable supervisory authority tied to the domain, limited publicly verifiable corporate disclosure, no confirmed investor compensation protection, elevated risk if leveraged instruments are offered, and potential exposure to withdrawal issues in the absence of regulatory enforcement. How to avoid similar scams. Always verify a broker's or investment platform's license directly through official regulator databases, not through logos displayed on the website. If a company claims to operate in Europe, check the FCA, CISEC, or the relevant European supervisory authority. If it claims international operations, verify through ASIC, SEC, or FINRA databases. The legal entity name must match exactly, and the approved domain must be listed. Be cautious with platforms offering complex financial instruments such as CFDs or high-leverage trading. High leverage magnifies losses rapidly and is strictly regulated in reputable jurisdictions. Do not rely on generic certificates, badges, or vague claims of compliance. Real regulation is always publicly searchable. Pay attention to corporate transparency. A legitimate broker discloses its legal entity, registration number, physical address, and governing law clearly. Be wary of platforms that emphasize returns, growth potential, or exclusive opportunities without clearly showing regulatory oversight. Pressure from account managers or promises of steady profits are common red flags in investment scam structures. Based on publicly verifiable information, funds.si cannot be considered a confirmed licensed broker or regulated investment platform in major financial jurisdictions. Checks through official regulatory registers do not confirm a clearly verifiable license attached to the domain. The absence of transparent regulatory backing creates elevated risk for investors. Without confirmed supervision, investor protection mechanisms cannot be assumed. Our experts recommend refraining from any financial interaction with this project. In finance, regulation is the foundation of trust. Without it, risk speaks louder than promises.